Good morning. All right, chat. You can come into the office. You're here at my cop. Yeah, you can come in, chat. You guys, come on in. It's good. Come on in. All right, here we go. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's my new favorite thing to do. We're back for more admin of code. Hold on, I haven't pinned a message. Good morning. We are back for another day of chat, coffee, and trying to solve some puzzles. How are you, MD? Good to see you, man. Ugh, I tell you what, my bed was calling my name today. It was saying, Steven, don't get up. And I said, no, I must. Advent of code must be defeated. See, open up a Scala draw. I actually did a little bit of refactoring on my Advent of Code solution from yesterday. Let's go ahead and pull that down. Go. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, that was a big one. Oh, yeah, I pinned it. Okay. So we want to go into Advent of Code 2025. We're going to check out a new branch. Today we are solving day 2, part dose. We'll see how this goes. I was talking to one of the people in my Discord last night, and she said that she solved this part and that she actually ended up solving it. She solved part 1 and that solved part 2. I'm not sure how she went about doing that, but maybe I'll find myself in such a lucky place. We'll see. I still think it's gonna have something to do with optimization. I still think that's where it's gonna end up, but we'll see. So, let's go ahead and open NeoVim. I was watching your previous stream and I saw that to compile your code, you exit NeoVim and then compile and then back to NVim. You can compile inside NeoVim. It just depends on whatever I'm doing. Sometimes I exit NeoVim, sometimes I use a different tab. I don't care for the terminal inside NeoVim. I know that you can open a terminal inside NeoVim. I'm not a big fan of it, but I know that you can. For me, I would much rather just do it in a separate window than do it in NeoVim. So But yeah, sometimes I get in a stupid loop where I close, open, close, open, close, open. It is what it is, you know? And then see, now I can't even remember how to exit the terminal. MD, no, not in Vim terminal. It's not like that. Okay, so what do you do then? Tell me, my NeoVim Jedi master. Also, what type of code am I compiling in that video? Is it Go or is it C# or what is it? So to compile my cargo run, I do cargo run and it compiles and gives me syntax highlighting on output. Yeah, it was Go. Okay. So tell me how you would compile your Go code in NeoVim. Because to me, the easiest way is just to have another terminal tab here. You know? But if you have a better way, please share your enlightenment with me. Alright, let's see what part 2 of the day is, yeah? Yeah? Yeah. This is a bunch of stuff from yesterday. I think there's a better way to solve my problem that uses math. And I think I was on to something here. I'm not really sure exactly what I was on to, but I think I'm on to something. Just do go run in vim command mode, I guess. Okay, let's try it. So we do go. Actually, can we do go test? Sorry. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. Not for me. But no, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad you figured out a way to do it with Rust. Good morning, Wilo Gamer Pro. Still sleepy? Yeah, still a little sleepy. I haven't had any caffeine. So I'm going to read admin of code real quick. I'm going to read the problem real quick. Then we're going to make some coffee. And then we're going to do whatever we need to do to solve it. And hopefully, this isn't a 3-hour long affair like yesterday's part was. I do need to, let's see, AOC download. And what do I want to do? I want to get the problem for day 2 again, but yeah, and I want to override it. There we go. Okay. So my prediction was that this part 2 is going to be about optimization, that they were going to make the ranges incredibly large, and it was going to break my brute force attempt, but I don't honestly know what they're going to do. The clerk quickly discovers that there are still invalid IDs in the ranges in your list. Maybe the young elf was doing other silly patterns as well. Now ID is invalid if it is made only of some sequence of digits repeated at least twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 2 times, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 3 times, and 11 7 times are all valid IDs. From the same exact example as below, 95 to 115 now has two invalid IDs, 99 and 1, 1, 1. Okay. Huh. Adding up all the invalid IDs in this example produces yada yada yada. Okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be at all. Okay. Well, how are we going to solve this one? I honestly don't know. Let's go ahead and just write our test. Then we'll start with that. We'll get something. We'll get something on the page. It's working for me because it's amazing. Because you can quick fix lists without needing to quit or move to another tab. Nice. Yeah, that's wonderful, dude. Good for you. Have you ever watched Home Alone 2? You look similar to the police officer Kevin's parents talk with in the airport when Kevin gets lost. I have seen Home Alone. I don't know if I've seen Home Alone 2. I'm guessing I probably have. But I don't remember the cop. We'll look it up here in just a second. Excuse me. Huh, so I need to find any repeating digits. This is not at all what I thought part 2. I'm completely stumped because I was completely preparing for a different part 2. Like mentally, mentally I thought, oh, I'm just gonna have to figure out how to optimize what I already have. Nope. Oh, excuse me. Busy day at work today. Just stopped by to say hi and good luck with coding day. Well, thank you, Wanta. I hope you have a great day at work. Appreciate you doing that. It's very kind of you. Well, see, we were going to look up the officer from Home Alone 2. Police officer Home Alone 2. Rod Sell. Huh. I've never heard of this resemblance before. He's much older than me. Rod Sell. Yeah. Why are there like no images of this guy? Huh. I mean, just on these two pictures alone, I don't see it myself. I mean, I guess I can see it a little bit, maybe in the eyebrow, maybe the nose, but fair enough. I've been told I look like Coding with Lewis quite a bit, but no worries there. Okay, so going back to the problem. All right, so we need to find repeated at least. Okay, it is made only of some sequence of digits repeated at least twice. So here, we don't know that the sequence is repeated So this is another problem where you don't probably want to iterate through it because you can imagine there's a lot of iterations here. So let's say you start at 1 and you then do what? What do you do at 1? At 1, you look to see if 1 is repeated twice. So like here would be so 1 is repeated once, 1 is repeated twice. So this number would count. Let's see. Then we look at this one and we say, well, 1 and then not 1, not 1, not 1, not. So is this a sequence? Like if does huh. Damn. This must be some sort of classic programming problem that I've never done before. It sucks. AOC is going all right for you. That's awesome, dude. So did you already solve part? What are you on? Are you on part 3 or are you on part 4? Good morning, Ashuto. How are you? How are you doing today? Are you doing well? I need to make some coffee before I try to tackle this problem. Hi, I'm currently coding another bot for verification mainly this time. Nice. Bots are fun. I was actually talking to somebody last night on Discord that a big way they got started in coding was through building Discord bots. So yeah. Although I don't know if that's the kind of bot you're building. I was offering something of similarities. I need to make coffee. Just someone in Discord. I don't want to dox the person if they don't want to, you know what I mean? But one of our Discord members. Okay, how do I do? So I guess I'm gonna make the assumption, they don't really say this, but I'm gonna make the assumption that they have to be contiguous. Like, I don't think... Like, I don't think this number would count. I honestly don't know if it would, but I don't think this number counts. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3. I don't think that counts. Or 1, I guess. So I don't think, like, because 1 shows up twice in here, I don't think that counts. I think the sequences have to be contiguous. Right, meaning they have to touch right next to each other. Just based on the examples they've all given. So if that's the case, let's see if we can just start trying to make sense of this a little bit. So it's going to have much the same. I mean, honestly, this can all be copied. That can all be copied to part 2. Whoops. Because we're still only dealing with a single range at a time. And I abstracted the ranges away into a separate package. And so I guess let's call this, instead of invalid IDs, let's call this I don't know, invalid IDs with equal like equal halves or equal parts or something like that, equal halves. Oh. Wants me to rename it up here first and then rename it down there. So let's do invalid IDs with equal halves. And then we're going to have another method that's going to be function takes a receiver of the range struct, and this is going to be invalid IDs with 2 or more with maybe we do like reap2. This is the longest method name ever. Invalid IDs with 2 or more sequence. Something like that. And this method is, I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing here. I'll do an iterator. And then some of this will be kind of the same. It's just the logic in the middle of the loop that'll be different. So let's go up here to the top, and we'll declare a new method. That'll be equal. Oh, this needs to be your name. Invalid IDs with 2 or more seek. And then back in our main file, instead of calling this, we'll do this. Okay, so all of this is wrong now. Yeah, so all of this is wrong. So what do we want to do here instead? What to do here? So I think one of the first things we can do is we can probably use I think we can probably use, actually, instead of ranging over the entire range, well, I guess we still have to range over the entire range, but once we're ranging over the entire range and we have our number, so let me back up. So once we have our ID length, we should be able to use that to inform us what things we look at, right? Because we only want to look at numbers that are equally divisible into the ID length. Right? So like if something is a length of 4, we really need to only check pattern length 1, pattern length 2, pattern length, basically anything that mods evenly in there. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? So let's just see. So if we do 4 p length, and we need to start that at 1 because anything divided by 0 is 0, right? Let me just run a calculator real quick. 10 divided by 0 is, well, I guess computers honestly don't do that very well. So we don't want to mod by 0. So we'll start with 1 and we'll say, okay, if we're at 1 and the p length is less than or equal to the ID length, then we want to mod it, I think. Let's do p length plus plus, and let's do value equals ID length mod p length. And I'm just gonna print this. I just want to see what I'm doing here. So what am I doing? I am taking the ID length and modding it by the p length to check for a remainder. So what does that give me? What does this give me? I only want to run test solve part 2 with example input. Yeah, see, like this can't be a repeated sequence, this can't be a repeated sequence. I mean, this could never be. So honestly, actually, I only need to check half of the p length, actually. So in my loop, I only actually need to do I think I only need to actually do this. Try again. I honestly don't know if I'm on the right path. So obviously don't try to help me too much, but I think, yeah, I mean that's still a lot of iterations. But I think anything that doesn't come out to 0 Well, now I don't know about that, because like, let's say I have 10 digits, and I have a pattern of 3. If I have, if I, so does the whole thing? That's the part that I'm kind of muddied on. I'm not sure. I think the whole thing needs to be a repeated sequence, right? I think it's all or nothing. You can't have like half the number be repeated and then half of it not be. So I think you have to be able to take whatever pattern you identify, and it has to fit the whole thing. Which that's not really, I don't really know if that's the right approach, but I'm gonna treat it as if it's such. So which basically means then in our loop here, what we'll say is okay, if id length mod p length does not equal 0, we're gonna continue. I know I haven't even made my coffee yet. I just jumped straight into this thing. Good morning, Veds Improv, how you doing? Good morning, Butterscotch. It's been a while, man. How have you been? I hope you're doing well. I'm actually going to say, I'm going to change this variable name. I'm gonna give it a good name. So I'm gonna say, does would repeated pattern fit? That's basically what I'm checking. So arbitrarily, if I had a pattern of this length, would it fit? So if would pattern fit equals false, or actually, hold on, I should probably rename this to be that's fine. That's fine. We can do if would repeated pattern fit equals false, continue. So we just skip over it. I'm gonna put this in a variable again, just so I can print it still like that. Delete. This will be. All right. So now we should only be printing zeros now. That's the first thing. So we should only be printing zeros. No, that's not what do I have my logic wrong? Oh, yeah. So this should actually be, let's say, repeated pattern fits. Repeated pattern fits. And then this will be false like that. Oh, actually, I kind of like it. I kind of like it cleaner. I kind of want to do this. Repeated pattern does not fit. There we go. Now we should only print zeros. Everything is good except my end of semester exams. Oh man, it's that time of year, isn't it, for all you students? Dude, that sucks. I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. But I wish you the best of luck in taking it on. But I'm not envious. Okay, so now we're only checking. Okay, cool. So now we're only checking things of the proper length. So what does that get us? Well, it does narrow it down. But then now, how do we actually produce a candidate pattern, right? That's the that's the question now. So how do we do that? I guess we can do. I guess we just create a new slice. Also, I'm gonna just do one range because right now I'm a little overwhelmed by how much is being printed, if I'm honest. So I'm gonna go here, let's see, solve part 2, and instead of this, I'm actually gonna do just the first range. So I'm just gonna set that to 0. Does this give you an index? Can I do like IR? No. It's an iterable. Because it's iterable. So let's just do I is 0. And we'll do I plus plus. And then we'll just say if I does not equal 0, continue. And that means back home in our range guy. Now if we run this, we should only see like a few numbers. Yeah. Okay, so let's see how we generate the patterns that we want to test. So if we're looking at our first example, 1122, we obviously want to test one, right? Did we print that? I think we printed that. Yeah. So we're just wanting to test 1. However, I still think there's an optimization. I don't think we need to probably test all of these, do we? I don't know, I'll have to think about that. So 1. I guess we just need to create a pattern. So let's say, okay, so let's say we're on number, pseudocode always helps me think a little bit. So we're on 11, right? Okay, cool. So now what we want to see is we want to basically do 1 repeated once, right? And then we want to check to see if that is present in the string, I guess. I think that's what we want to do. So we'll always just take let's say pattern is going to be a slide. We'll just slice it off the ID stir. So we'll say take from the start to the length of p length, I think. ID stir. And now let's format dot print line the pattern. This would be a lot easier if I went and drank some coffee, I think. Yeah. 1. The problem is, though, this is going to hit multiple times, I think. Like, we're going to come up with multiple IDs. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Okay, well, let's just say we're going to do this, and then we're going to repeat it. So we're going to say num of repeats equals the ID length divided by the pattern length. And then repeated pattern is going to be, is there like a string dot repeat? Yep, nice. So pattern. Let's print the repeated pattern. So this would be the thing we would check against, basically. So if we go back over here to our guy, can you map those IDs, I guess? I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, if I'm just being completely honest. No, Vita, thank you for subbing. I appreciate it. I'm honestly just trying what I think might be a path, but I don't actually know. Okay, so what ID are we on, though? So let's print what ID we are on. So let's print the ID here real quick. So I think what's gonna save me from double counting is if I do, okay, is this repeated pattern equal to this? Then we yield it. If this repeated pattern is not equal to 12, then we don't yield it, which will stop me from double counting these sequences, essentially. Although I think this is still not the most efficient approach, but so what I'm basically saying is if I build the repeated pattern and I say if repeated pattern does not equal ID stir, we continue. Otherwise, we're gonna yield this. So let's well, can I bring the print line back? Hold on. I don't want to get rid of that yet. So let's just go back to our test again. So that failed. But we got the 2 IDs we wanted, right? So this is only printing the 2 IDs that are invalid. So that's correct. Now our test is failing because I'm only doing 1 range. So let's see. Dude, this will be wild if I just stumbled into this. Because I don't think... I mean, this is really brute force. I mean, now you have a loop. We have a loop inside a loop. Inside a loop. There's got to be a math solution to this problem. Doing something with the length of the IDs. There's got to be a math solution to this, because I think if the inputs are really large, I don't think this will work. Because we basically have the loop at the very top, then we have the loop over the range. So we loop over each range, then we loop over every number in that range. Then, given the length of that number in the range, we loop over its half of its length. So this is not very efficient. So let's see if it solves the problem, or at least for our example input. We've had really bad luck this year at like things work on our example input, but they don't work on our actual input. That has been the story of this year for me. So let's do that. And we'll go test again. Oh, it didn't work. So we got 4. So it looks like we're higher. No, we're lower. No, higher, sorry. So we want 743. This is 748. So we're including more than we should. Sadat, if you were a junior developer, would you look for a job with more modern project, or it doesn't really matter? Let's say .NET Framework versus .NET 10, 8. Yeah, I mean, I think Sadat, if you need a job, I don't think it matters. Like if you need a job and you don't have a job, it doesn't matter. That's the way I look at it, right? So if you don't have work and you need to get work, you have no leverage really in the situation. And so being picky about remote work, the technology stack you're going to use, anything like that, sorry, but you don't get to be picky right now. You got to get your foot in the door. If you already have a job, or you don't necessarily need a job, like maybe you're living at home or somebody else is paying your bills right now, then I say be picky. I say be picky for as long as you can. In which case, then, if it was me, I would be looking for companies that are using the modern version of .NET, not the old version. That would be my preference. So if I could be picky, I would hunt for probably if it was me and I could hunt for the job I wanted, I would look for shops that are not using .NET Framework. I don't care what version of .NET Core they're on. I don't want to be on .NET Framework. I wouldn't care too much about the infra, like how you're deployed, if it's bare metal or on-prem, that I wouldn't really care about too much. I could take or leave being in the cloud, but definitely wouldn't want to be on .NET Framework. All right, what have I done wrong? Well, I guess we need to go through and see if perhaps I think I'm in the wrong. I think I'm yielding out of the wrong loop. Am I? I think I'm yielding duplicate things. So let's say I have okay. So let's put this back here. Put this back in the outer loop. And let's say we're up here, and let's say let's do should yield, I think is what I want. No. I guess let's just go back to printing. So let's just format.println. And let's print the ID that we're going to yield. And let's try to keep this, let's try to work through each one. So we know the first range works based on what they told us, right? We know the first range works because we get 11 and 22. This one, though, let's see what that happens there. So let's go back to our example. This is where I should probably write some unit tests, excuse me, for the actual individual range. Let's do function test invalid IDs with 2 or more sequences. Oh, you know what? We're probably not applying the 2 or more logic, which we need to probably apply somewhere. I don't like this song. Good morning, Arvin. How are you doing? Yeah, I was kind of locked in there. It's not going particularly well. I mean, I have something. I don't know if it's anywhere in the neighborhood of right, but I do have something. So I'm going to start working through their examples. So let's see. Let's do type test case construct. We are going to have a range, and that is going to be type that. We're also going to have expected invalid IDs, which is going to be a slice of int64. What have I done wrong? I've written a struct before in Go, I swear. Why? Oh, because I can't make a literal struct. That's why. uh, I'm just typing it. That's why. So I don't need the brackets. I just need the slice in 64. Caffeine, man. I need the caffeine. And then let's come down here, and we'll say for each, we'll have a set of test cases, which are going to be a slice of test case like this. And then we'll say for case in range over test cases. We're just going to do all of the same logic, but inside here. So this will be c.r, no, c.rng, like that. We don't need these guys anymore. This should be rng, no, c.expected invalid IDs and c.expected. Now we can start adding our cases. So the first one is going to be in RNG, which is going to be rng.from, and this is 11 to 22. And for this one, we expect our expected invalid IDs. We expect to be in 64, and we expect there to be 11 and 22. Now, why is this unhappy? And why is this unhappy? Did I misspell something? Bro, why am I having so much trouble just creating objects? Ah, that's what it is. Okay, so let's just turn this into R then. Ah, crap. I know. I'm such a dummy. So this should be, this is a struct inside the slice. I swear I've written Go before. And then our expected invalid IDs is here, which is a int 64, which is 11 and 22. And it doesn't like that because I renamed it. Alright, let's run that test real quick. We'll go test cmd 02 range rods. Why is that in my buffer? Oh. Ashuto, why do you keep putting your message and then retracting it? You don't have to do that. You can leave it. Okay. So let's just go through and add all of their test cases from their example, and one of them is going to break. So 95 and 115. Whoops. So 95, 115, and they said we should have 99, and I think 111. Talking happens when we connect our internal monologue to our mouse. We are effectively listening to Steven's internal monologue, thinking. Yeah, basically. Basically, I'm just trying to fill the void. Alta, I don't know what AOI programming is. Automated optical inspection. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. Sounds interesting though. Would love to learn more about it. 520. There is so much hassle typing in a tabbed screen. Oh, fair enough. Laz Dern, I just discovered your channel. I don't know how to code, but seeing this really makes me want to learn, though I'm dumb as hell, so it's pointless. Well, first of all, you're not dumb as hell. Second of all, anybody I think can learn to code if they actually want to. I think given a long enough timeline, anybody can learn just about any skill, you know? So I wouldn't sell yourself so short, but glad you're here. Okay, that one worked, didn't it? No, that one failed. So we got 99 and not 11. So why didn't we get 11? Why didn't we get 11? Did I put the right range in? Okay, well, I guess that's the first one we need to troubleshoot. That's one that should be hitting. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't think I'm printing anything. Where's that coming from? I don't think I'm using the right method. Yeah, I'm not using the right method. This should be with 2 or more sequences. Oopsies. That almost led us down a very dangerous path. Okay, that one passed. All right, so we're still doing good. Never mind. We're still doing good. So now we need 98 and 1012, and that has 99 and 1010. So they expect 99 and 10. All right, that passes. I'm gonna stick this to my other my other half of my monitor just so I can see the problem set without having to switch tabs. This is a big range. Let's see, RNG from giant range, but it expects no Invalid IDs. This is something Copilot could probably do like 3 times faster than me actually writing these test cases. This is a great place where AI would excel, and I would love to use it. Here we go. Oh no, I expected none. Sorry. I expected none. We expect none, but we are getting 1. So this is one of the cases where we're failing. Alright. So why are we failing? Why do we think there's something there when there's not something there? Oh no, there should be 1. Never mind, sorry. There should be 1. I misread their problem. I gotta go make my coffee because I'm making a lot of dumb mistakes and it's gonna screw me up. So we're gonna go make the coffee. I'm gonna go set up the other room real quick. Armin, I wanna scream love money. Why? Why? Because you love money? Shuto, is UiPath best option for automation course for learning? What type of automation are you trying to do? Are you trying to do like automation of an actual PC? Or are you trying to just do like web browser automation? Good morning, Renee. Good to see you. Steven, want to inject some? Dude, I need every dollar I can get. I am a greedy bastard when it comes to money. I am trying to stack the dollar bills as high as they go, so that one day work becomes optional. This is called putting on your oxygen mask first. And I am unabashedly unashamed of that position in life. There's a job listing opening that has AOI programming listed. It says it deals with PLCs. Curious to know if you knew anything about it. No, I've never done anything with PLCs. Never done any kind of ladder logic or control logic like that. There's a guy on TikTok recently that I found that's been streaming that type of engineering or development, which is kind of interesting to watch. I interacted with it a little bit at my old job because when we built that brand, I think I've mentioned this to you. At my old job, I was part of building a brand new manufacturing plant, and as part of that, we installed a bunch of equipment that was pretty high tech and had quite a few HMIs, which are basically human machine interfaces, and those were all programmed kind of with that ladder logic PLC type of programming, from what I understand. But that's the only thing I know about it. Every time I come on this channel, Steven's on his way to make coffee. Love it, yeah. You have exceptional timing. Well, I've misread the problem like 3 or 4 times, and I'm afraid if I don't get some caffeine in my bloodstream, I'm gonna do something that leads me down a deep dark hole. So this should just be 222. We're trying at the moment though. We're trying to root out which test case my solution fails on. That's what we're doing at the moment. There we go. See, this is what I thought was happening. This is it. So we only expect 1, but we're yielding back every intermediate. We're yielding back every time. We're yielding 3. And really, we should only do it once. So what ID are we on when we make this mistake? Let's see, we're printing here. Yeah, so what we actually want to do, I think, is we actually want to have is invalid equals false, right? And then what we'll do down here is if we make it all the way down here, then we know we found one. Then we move this to the outer loop and we say if is invalid, or maybe I want to do is, maybe instead what I want to do is I want to do is valid. We continue. And then let's do this is valid starts as true. And if we get down here, well then we know it's not valid anymore. Like that. Let's see if that fixes our problem. I thought that's what might have been happening, but I wasn't 100% certain. And so this is why going through case by case is helpful, right? Because you can kind of narrow down the problem child. Okay, but we broke everything else. Now we're getting nothing. Now we're getting nothing. Oh, because this should be false. Damn, see, this is what happens when you don't drink caffeine before you do admin of code. Let this be a lesson to you all. Hell yeah. Okay, so let's see if that fixed our main test. Fuck yeah. Okay, that builds confidence for the main input solution. But I'm gonna get coffee and then we'll come back and we'll test the main input. So one sec, I gotta set all that up real quick. All right, chat. 3, 2, 1, to the coffee station. To the coffee station. All right, day 4. Whoops. One sec. Let me mute. Undo this one. All right, today's coffee is another African coffee, I believe. Also, let me pull up chat on my phone. Man, it's already December 4th. It's crazy. All right, water first. I keep saying all right. All right. All right. That's gonna get super annoying.
Coffee. Gotta grind it. Oh wow, Arvin, you guys are in a recession? I didn't realize that. %80, wow. Well, I mean, in the United States, we're definitely due for a correction at some point. I don't know how severe that correction is going to be, but there's definitely going to be a correction at some point. All right, the coffee for today is from Uganda. The tasting notes for it are rose, cranberry, milk chocolate, and plum. If you believe those. Sounds good. The first 4 days have all been coffees from Africa, which is pretty cool. Well represented. I'd like to try. I saw Renee said he would want to travel to the Emirates, and I would like to travel to the Middle East at some point as well. Although I mean, I hope no one takes offense to this. I do have concerns about just like safety and just the craziness that goes on there, especially with the countries that don't care for Israel and Israel doesn't care for them. So that kind of makes me a little makes me second guess my idea to travel there. But I'm guessing some people feel that way about the United States right now. Because there's some crazy shit happening here. Did you just say war is due? What the hell? We are in stagflation, inflation of 7% monthly, recession like how? Wow. 7% inflation monthly? That's nuts. It would be very difficult to build a life that way. You're losing 7% of your purchasing power every month. I will say the first 4 coffees to me have a very similar smell. It's very floral coffee, which I think is pretty common for that area of the world. Okay, coffee in, water's done. Water goes in the Clever Dripper. Some people put their water in first and then the coffee, but I prefer coffee than water. Almost there. Nice. Now we wait. Now we wait, chat. Now we wait.
Now we just wait for the coffee to brew. Yeah, it's gonna be so good. I didn't normally. What I've been doing is normally I'll get a shot of espresso upstairs before I come down to start the stream. But this morning I laid in my bed like 5 minutes longer than I should have, so I didn't have time to pull that shot of espresso. So this is the first cup of coffee I've had all morning, and I'm very excited. That's rough, man. It's so rough. I tell you what, life is really hard. It's really hard when you can't pull that morning shot of espresso. It's so hard when you can't drink your coffee for making coffee. Yeah, Arvin, that really sucks, man. I wish, which also Renee might have been saying that's rough to you, Arvin, and not to me. Yeah, but that's super rough, dude. I'm sorry you're going through all that shit. I wish there was like something that you could do. Unfortunately, though, we're all just cogs in a wheel, aren't we? One small cog. Oh, you were saying waking up without coffee is rough? Yeah. Okay. I mean, Arvin has real problems, and I'm over here bitching about not having espresso. Alright, let's see what this does on my test input real quick before we go grab our Ugandan coffee. I don't think I've ever had coffee from Uganda, actually. Well, if I have, I haven't been aware of it. So this will be a first for me. This should just be -1, because we don't know what this is going to be. Oh, no, we do know what that's going to be. We don't know what the main input's going to be. Test solve part 2 with input. So this is going to be -1. Excuse me. I once didn't have coffee for 4 days. Man, I was tired all the time. It's been a while since I've gone 4 days without coffee. Last January. It was sometime last year. I went a month. I went like 30 days without coffee. Without coffee, but I didn't go without caffeine. So, but I took a break from coffee and I just drank energy drinks instead, which is like, I mean, honestly, coffee is just a vehicle for the caffeine, right? For most of us. I mean, I do enjoy coffee though too, but test solve part 2 with input. Okay, so this was the number we got, right? Yeah, that's the number we got. So let's see if that number is right. Dude, this would be awesome if this was it. I can't. Oh shoot, I pasted that multiple times. Don't do that. Ah! Right now, there are 99.9999% of programmers who cannot get the client to pay the F up after they give their projects. It's time to make programming. Pay comes first in my country, fixing bad cultures and all that. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. If people are withholding pay. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The chicken or the egg problem with pay is tough. I mean, as an employee, you're always getting paid for work you've already done, just by the nature, at least here in the United States. You're always kind of a pay period behind. But like, yeah, for like freelancing stuff, like I've done some freelancing in the videography space, and I've always said like 50% up front, 50% after. I feel like it's important for a client to have skin in the game. All right, I gotta go get this coffee. Otherwise, we're gonna miss it.
All right, hopefully this is good. I mean, why wouldn't it be good? I still can't get over this artwork. I mean, look how cool that is. It almost looks like a Lord of the Rings tree. Wonder if that was their inspiration. All right, coffee has been made. Time to see if we got the solution right. Chat, get in here right now.
We got stuff to do, chat. Get in here. Stop screwing around. What is the Ugandan coffee's name? Let me look. I have a link to it. Let me find it really quick. Also, hold on. Let's submit this. Let's go, bro. Woo! Dude, that was so much easier than part 1. Well, part 1 was easy. Part 1 I had it solved before we made coffee yesterday. It was just a white space. Sandesh, thanks for subbing. So I would say they were probably equal. I'm surprised that this worked, though. And I also think there's still a way to cut down on the number of iterations. I feel like there's math that we can do. So let's make sure, but let's just test both. Let's test all of them. Oh, and also this is the right answer. So let's copy. Paste that. Dude, that's awesome. We made record time. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. This is our best admin of code solution so far, or our fastest so far. Okay, so go test CMD 02. They should all pass. Yes, let's go. They all pass in like less than a half second too. So even though they're brute force, they're pretty speedy. Somebody asked about the coffee. Renee asked about the coffee. Give me 1 sec. Let me go find the link. For those African aficionados out there, the movie The Last King of Scotland, for which Forrest Whitaker won an Oscar, was about Uganda. I don't think I've actually seen that movie. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. Sorry about that. Let's see. It's right here. This is the coffee of the day. It is... I don't even know if it has a name. It's from the Windsori Mountains is the region. Long Miles Lunar Station.
All right, we're on day 4 of Advent. We're following along with those cards. Day 4 is the Uganda Long Miles Natural Processed Coffee. This coffee is something we've had in our cafes this year. We also had the wash process earlier, in case you are familiar with that name. This cup is a really nice, easy cup to brew. I prefer it personally on pour over, but espresso, batch brew, anything, you can make cold brew out of this. It's gonna be a good cup of coffee. The flavors that we're gonna get out of this cup are gonna be things like cranberry. We're gonna get some nice like tartness from that, kind of that like.
I will say, I'm not in that whole like flavor note thing. It's not Not really my thing, but I appreciate
Sides
people who
that go
can
on the
taste
sides
all
of your
those
tongue that
things.
feels a little bit bright but not overpowering or sour. We should also be able to get some really good like deep rich stone fruit flavors, so like a plum, maybe even just like the sweetness of like milk chocolate. Overall, it's a really well balanced cup, super easy to brew, and we're big fans of everything Long Miles does. From Burundi to Uganda, so we're really excited. This is part of our advent calendar. Hope you guys are able to brew
So
it.
this is the name
Cheers.
of the
We'll see you
brand,
tomorrow.
I guess. Long Miles Lunar Station. Long Miles Coffee. Deep in western Uganda, the Rwenzori Mountains loom, creating a majestic border between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. It is pretty. About us. Ben and Christy Carlson. It's honestly kind of humbling, all of the businesses that are in the world. Like, I didn't even know this business existed. I didn't even know these people were doing any of this. We're growing coffee here, purchasing coffee here. But it's kind of humbling how big the world is and how many people are in it and all the different things that everyone's doing all the time. But yeah, it's good, and it's good. I do taste, I don't know if I taste the plum. I do taste like maybe some sweetness. I don't know if that's what they're talking about, milk chocolate, but it's good. 10 out of 10. I'm not much of a critic when it comes to coffee. Let's share that we did. Post. Hell yeah. Okay, is there anything that we want to do? I think from a structure perspective, I'm perfectly fine with my solution. I think probably I'm gonna create just a helper function that's like maybe get stir ranges or something like that. I don't know. There's definitely some repetitive code between these two methods, but I think that's fine. All the solution logic lives in these methods themselves. Cool. So let's merge this in, yeah? Oh, we need to update our README too. You want to try the elephant poop coffee? What's that? What is that called? That's called it's not elephant poop. I thought it was cat poop. We're talking about poop coffee now. This stream has taken a whole different kind of turn. Elephant poop coffee? I thought it was black ivory coffee, a premium and very expensive coffee made from Arabica beans that have been eaten. And oh, I didn't even know this existed. Black ivory coffee. I think the one I'm thinking about is the Kopi Luwak. I think that's the one I'm thinking about. Kopi. This is also, this is why AI was made, so that it could tell me the difference between two different types of poop coffee. That's 100% why Jeffrey Hinton came up with back propagation and did all that work to bring us the latest transformer technology. Asian palm civets. Oh, so this is even a cat. This is a civet. This almost looks like a weasel. Okay. Well, I don't know if I would want to try these things, Renee, but I believe you should live the life you want to live. And so if that's on your bucket list, more power to you. More power to you. Truth had been revealed. Stephen will never be the same. that skull art, top left. Are you talking about the Onyx logo? Just conceive an elephant. Yeah, no thank you, Arvin. I'm not gonna dwell on that thought too much. Are you talking about the I think you're talking about Onyx's skull. You're talking about this thing right here? Whoops. It's a pretty cool logo, right? Yeah. They just have a cool brand in general. Like if you go to their coffee shops, their coffee shops are in Northwest Arkansas, which is like south of me. I'm in Kansas, so it's south of me, but it's close to where I grew up in my hometown. It's not too terribly far to get to one, but their coffee shops are really, really, really cool. They have a very cool brand. All right, so we done Advent of Code Day 2, which means we're done for the day with Advent of Code. Obviously, Day 3 is already unlocked, but I've been only doing... Oh, Day 4 is already unlocked, so now we're officially 2 full days behind. So we'll only be on Day 6 when everybody else gets to Day 12, because we're doing 1 part a day. Let's see what's going on with my private leaderboard. We have quite a few people on this leaderboard now. 11 people. Bite Slayer is killing it. Where's Pablo at? Pablo's been busy because he started a new job, so I'm sure he'll catch up this weekend. Yeah, this is awesome. I can't believe there's 11 people who are doing this with me. This is cool. And then there's me. Little old me. Alright, so we need to figure out what to do for the next hour or so. I would like to... Okay, so we don't have much time. Between now and the end of the year, we have how many days? We basically have 31 minus 24. Is that 27? We have 27 days, roughly. Which, and part of those days are going to be Advent of Code. So, 31 minus... I can't believe it's already December 4th. Yeah, we have 27 days. So we probably can't do a ton in addition to Advent of Code, but I think if I could build one thing before the end of the year, I think it would be the Buy Me a Coffee site. Renee, how do I join the private leaderboard? Go into Discord, and there's a leaderboard thread in our Discord. Here, I'll share the link. It's here. And this is the thread you want. I just put that once you join, there's a thread there, and it's got the leaderboard code in it. MD, how can I show up in your leaderboard? Same thing. Yeah, just what Renee asked as well. If you join the Discord, we have a forum, or like I don't know what you call it. It's like a channel that has threads under it for Advent of Code, and then there's a thread under it that's called Advent of Code 2025 leaderboard, which is the link I just pasted in the chat, and that has the join code in it. But please, yes, all are welcome. Come, one and all, join us. Come, chat. Let's go. We solve problems. Yeah, the grind shall continue. Yes, it will. The thing though, if I could build one thing before the end of the year to kind of cap off my development goals for the year, it would be the Stripe integration. And so the idea for this app is basically very similar to Buy Me a Coffee, but the idea is people can land here. Maybe there's a picture of me in the top left. Maybe it's even more similar to the Linktree layout. There's like a picture of me. There's a little blurb about what I am doing, right? Who I am, what I'm doing. And then there should be basically a form here that allows people, if they want, they don't have to, but it should basically allow somebody to enter a dollar amount here and maybe their name. So a couple form fields like this. Yeah, and then a button. This is my best version of a wireframe. And then a button. Also, this is a hot take, but buttons always go on the left side of forms. If I'm a user, I shouldn't have to type left to right and then reach to the right to click on a button. So buttons always go on the left. That's probably a hot take for designers. So I'll have a button. And then the only thing that I really want to do on here is I just want to show a list of people who have donated. And so we'll say this will be amount. And then name, I think, be there. Blurb. I love Excalidraw. This is just like one of the best PFP. And then we'll have a list here. Maybe we should also do like a message. I think Buy Me a Coffee lets people put messages on theirs. Something like that. So a bunch of cards with a form, blurb, my page, and a listing of people that have subbed. This will run on down to the bottom forever. So that's basically the UI. And then sketching out a UI. Yeah. So one of the goals I had coming into this year was I never integrated payments into any applications I've built. You know, I haven't had a need to. I haven't built something that requires people to pay me. But I would like to know how to do it. You know, I feel like as someone who's building things, I feel like being able to collect payments, you know, whether that be to build a credit system or whether that be to have some sort of subscription offering, I just feel like knowing how to integrate payments into an application is a skill I should have, right? And so what I'd like to do is I'm trying to find a project that's relatively simple where I can just implement the Stripe checkout flow at a very high, you know, in a very simplistic way, right? User lands on the page, user clicks the button, user has to do something with their payment information facilitated by Stripe, and then my backend basically just listens. I think, if I understand correctly, my backend will have some sort of endpoint that listens for events from Stripe, and my backend then will just keep track of the transaction lifetime. Again, I'm a noob. I don't really know. So this is kind of the page that I'm thinking of building. And then from a high level overview of the flow, it's like user lands on page, user enters name or amount and name, user click submit. Then somehow I'm not really sure how the Stripe thing works quite yet. We played around with it a little bit earlier this year, but we didn't get all the way done with it. User click submit. User interacts with Stripe to provide payment details. And then somehow, I'm not really sure, somehow user completes purchase. And then user should see their their name and amount in the list of folks who've bought before, basically. That's basically the general flow. Now, there's some stuff that I'm unclear about as far as whoops. This is the general flow. There's definitely some things I'm unclear about in here. But we'll clear it up as we build. The part that I have the most questions about are how do I keep track of the list of people that have bought? So how do I keep track of who has purchased? Because Stripe is going to handle all that for me, or it should. And I just need to keep a record, right, of who bought and who hasn't, so I can display it on the front end. And then in terms of a tech stack, I think I'm just going to use a minimal API with a single like vanilla index.html, like just static files. I think that's going to be the plan. So maybe, and then I think it's going to live. I think it's going to live at like buy me a coffee.stephenfreeborn.com. It's a little bit long, but, and I don't want to do coffee.stephenfreeborn.com because I might want to do something like with that, later. Maybe one day I'll have my own coffee. That would be pretty fucking cool. Cyberlink. Yep, a webhook / endpoint in your API. Stripe will send you the events. It even retries with your API is down. Oh, nice. So Cyberlink, you know about this. Cool. So there's some people that hang around in my chat that have been here and done that. That's good to know. That's good to know. Because I will likely get stuck, and I will need someone to help me get unstuck. Arvin, just a friendly reminder that I am obsessively in love with money. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. I have a number. I know what my number is. When I hit that number, work becomes optional and things get interesting. Ultra Q. Is your username really Ultra QNet? I am bad at documentation. Is it wrong to rely on AI to type out documentations for me? Hell no, man. That's one of the best parts about having AI is because people historically have not done documentation because doing documentation well or semi-well takes effort and time that people don't want to spend. So now we have a tool called an LLM that will help us generate halfway decent documentation really quickly, and then we can further refine it and edit it. So I feel like, I do that. Like I can actually show you readmes that I generated using AI. So let's go to Hano NetDI. So this was a little package I put together to simulate the .NET dependency injection system in a Hano application. This README is AI. You can probably tell just from the use of emojis, but like it's a good it's a good README. Like, I had the AI generate it, and then I went through and just did the edit. But this probably would have took me, I don't know. I mean, it probably would have took me an hour, right, to come up with all these code examples and whatnot. So at least an hour or so. It took the AI all of, less than 5 minutes to dump all this out. So you should definitely leverage AI for documentation. It's also great. I also like it for like code documentation or documentation in the code. You know how like in .NET you can write XML comments, and in TypeScript and JavaScript you can use JS comments. It's great at those as well. So it's just like there's not really an excuse not to have good documentation anymore because LLMs exist, which I love. Because who enjoys working with a package or a library or a technology where the documentation is absolute shit, right? Nobody's enjoys that. I missed some other stuff. Fucking crashed again. I've done nothing but payments for years and can honestly say Stripe is the greatest developer experience. However, there are so many ways you can configure it, so choose your path wisely. Oh shit. Okay, well, I will just ask if anybody here sees me going down a path I shouldn't go, just let me know. That's hilarious. Easiest way is to use their embedded checkout, but customizing the amount isn't great for that. So with that kind of functionality, you'll need to use their embedded checkout, custom checkout, JavaScript SDK. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate all this advice. This is very helpful, guys. I really appreciate that, chat. Hoijin, I bought Boot Dev thinking this will be a good way to learn Go, but it was so boring. Is there a fun way to learn Go? Is boot.dev really boring? No way. It looks so much fun. I almost bought on their Black Friday sale. Yeah, I 100% almost bought on their Black Friday sale. I still want to do their courses at some point, but that makes me sad to hear that it's boring because it looks really, really cool. As far as like a fun way to learn Go, I honestly don't know. I can tell you what we did. So we sat, or I shouldn't say we, I did, and chat followed along, or some of chat followed along. What I ended up doing was I just made a list like this. It's not. I don't think it qualifies as fun though. So chat had recommended Tour of Go, and they recommended Learn Go with Test. Both of these are online tutorials on a website. So I don't know if that's fun for you. And then after we did those two tutorials, or those two books, lessons, whatever you want to call them, we then started practicing some old admin of code problems. And then we also built one complete project, I would say, semi-complete project, that just uses some static files. It's a web server that serves static files. And then we worked a little bit on building a REST API, which was interesting. But as far as making it fun, to me, the whole experience of writing code is fun. It's an absolute fucking blast, which is why I'm up at 6:15 in the morning talking to people on the internet and writing code. But so I don't necessarily know how I can make the learning fun. So I'm sorry I don't have good advice. Hey Pablo, good morning. How's everything going? Oh, good. Yeah, we actually solved today's part really quickly. I mean, quick for me. We were done with it by 5 o'clock. So I don't think it's probably the most elegant solution, but it works. It's a very brute force approach. I think there's some math. That's what I was trying to work out yesterday. I think there's some math that I can use that has to do with like the length of the ID and how many digits I need to match for the multiplier, or for how many digits I need for the repeated sequence length. I think there's a way I can use raising 10 to a certain number and then either multiplying or dividing to figure out without having to iterate over every single number. I think there's a way to squash that range down from like super big to super small, but I haven't quite worked that out. But we do have solutions, so that's good. I guess the more important part I should ask for you, Pablo, is how is your new job going? That's much more exciting than me trying to solve advent of code. Cyberlink, I think Theo snapped at the Stripe API and even made a repo explaining his frustration. I saw it somewhere. Oh, like he made Theo made like a repo that shows like the best way to set up Stripe. Because that would be helpful. If anybody knows where that is, I would love to be linked to that. I'll take any recommendations on the Stripe front. I want to keep it relatively simple. I don't want it to be very complicated, but any recommendations are welcome. Renee, LLMs also struggle with new languages or young frameworks in auto-generated docs. Fair enough. I mean, I just think when you're building documentation for something, like if I was to have the LLM generate documentation for this code, for admin of code, it would do a really good job because it has all the, like if I open Copilot, let's see, I think it's Control-Alt-B, right? If I open Copilot, I can tell Copilot to go and look at my repo and look at all that context to generate the documentation. So the docs that it generates for my stuff is going to be pretty well grounded. I can count on it being fairly well grounded, which is why I think, again, that's why I think that's one of the most awesome use cases of it is having good, complete documentation without a whole lot of effort on your part. Generally just smash more code, I guess. Good tips, thanks. Yeah, I don't have any tips for making it fun because I already find it fun. I thought boot.dev looked like it would be really cool because it looked like it combined coding with like RPG fantasy type of world, which is totally my jam and my vibe, but I'm sad to hear it didn't hit for you. Thunder Deer, nice to see you, man. How are you doing? Oh man, I've been having a tough time having fun writing code the last year or two, doing some OPS work at the moment. What's OPS work, Thunder Deer? And I'm sorry that code hasn't been very fun for you. Pablo, I'm doing that on mine, but haven't finished it because of my new job. Oh, so you already figured out the math. Oh, okay. Well, whenever you get through it, and if I haven't figured it out, I would love to see your solution, Pablo. Oh, first PR merge. Let's go. Good for you, Pablo. Yeah, lots of training. Yeah, the onboarding grind. It's a thing. He did a solid rant. Yeah, Theo's good at that. Theo's good at ranting. Pablo. Oh, I think I linked Theo's repo once. I think you did, didn't you? Oh, yep. Pablo just found it in the Discord message history. I think it's this one, chat. That Crash again is talking about. How to implement Stripe without going mad. Stripe invited me to speak with the CEO at their company-wide all-hands meeting. They were super receptive to my feedback, and I see bright future where none of this is necessary. Until then, I think this is the best way to set up payments in your SaaS. Well, that's pretty cool that Stripe took notice. So the general flow is front-end subscribe button. Yeah, but I don't think I'm not really looking for a SaaS flow. Is that the only flow he has here? I want a way just so someone can specify a dollar amount. While this isn't necessary, there's a good chance your user will make it to your site before the webhooks do. It's a nasty race condition to handle. Eagerly calling sync Stripe data to KV will prevent any weird states you might otherwise end up in. Okay, notice how I'm not using any of the checkout. I might have to sit down, and there's quite a bit. This actually looks kind of complicated. A little bit intimidating. So I need to probably sit down and read through this a little bit clearer. Maybe I need to read the Stripe docs first and then look at this, because it looks like there's a lot of language in here that's kind of Stripe specific. But this will definitely be a good resource. I'm gonna star this. Oh, I love LAMP. As far as I just saw your message in Discord. As far as generating readmes and docs, I use Copilot usually, because Copilot has that context in my editor. You could also use so I pay for Copilot and I pay for Gemini. So I think theoretically you could use the Gemini CLI or you could use the Copilot CLI. But for me, the easiest thing is just to open Visual Studio, open Copilot, and then just say, can you generate a README, like that. So super simplistic. There's not much, nothing sophisticated about it. It's pretty low. Again, it's pretty low effort because the models already have tons of examples in their training data of what READMEs look like, and then they have all the context of the code in your repo. So it's not really a complicated thing to do, which is why I say there's not really a good excuse not to have good documentation when large language models exist. Now, if you don't pay for anything, then I would just copy and paste. Like, I would just copy and paste the code you want to generate documentation to into the chat app of your choice and go from there. What's up, Fantasticals? Good to see you. Thunder Deer. I'm doing infrastructure, DNS, PKI, VM automation, etc. Oh yeah, so you're down there below the kind of application level. Actually, there's a person in my Discord named Livy who was showing me last night a tool she is building for VM management that uses a TUI, Thunder Deer. So you might be interested in that. Let me see if I can find the repo really quick. I think it's called VM Manager. And I think her GitHub name is Oblivion99 or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. But it sounds like your line of work, you might be interested in what she's building. She's like vibe coding it, I guess. Or has vibe coded a large portion of it. Can't find it. I wonder if it's still a private repo. VM Manager. I wish I would have paid more attention to what her GitHub handle was. If I find it again, I'll link it in Discord. But yeah, you might enjoy that. Although most of it applies to any flow, he has a video too. He is doing subscriptions, but payments are exactly the same. Oh, really? Is there a video? So there's a video on this? Where's that video at? YouTube. Theo 3G Stripe. Here we go. This must be it. Share. We're gonna put this on my Excalidraw. also that repo. I think this is what we're going to try to work on, though, outside of admin code. Because if I could get that built and deployed before the end of the year, that would mark a big goal off my list for the year. Okay, cool. I like it. Chat hooking me up again. Fucking crashing again. Did you give Claude a proper run? Wondering if you like Copilot because you'd rather be coding. With Claude, you barely need the editor open, and with the right prompts, can get anything done. Yeah, I'm not a big... So, I guess I should caveat all that documentation speak with the caveat that, like, I don't care for vibe. I don't care for agentic... I won't use the word vibe coding because I'm not saying that y'all are vibe coders. But this agentic type of development, I'm not really... I've tried to do it twice now. Once with Copilot CLI and once with the Gemini CLI. And a handful of times with Copilot in VS Code. And I always walk away from that experience not wanting to code. And that, to me, is an indication that that is not my path. From using those tools and trying to build through prompts, and I walk away feeling like, well, if that's what programming is now, if that's what programming is going to become, I'm going to go find some other type of work to do, because that I don't find very enjoyable. To me, the process of building the thing is so much more enjoyable than getting to the thing. You know? That's my current state of the world. Doesn't mean that I'm right, doesn't mean anyone else is wrong, it's just that's how I feel. So I haven't used Claude Code in depth. I've only used the Copilot CLI, Gemini CLI, and then Copilot in VS Code. Those are the only kind of agentic tools I've used, and that's what I pay for. And I'm happy with them. They do what I need when I need them to. I've been using OpenTUI, and you can vibe code that very well. Nice. You have not shown your TUI yet. You should definitely make a demo video of that, Pablo. Good morning, Harsh. Good to see you. I love Lamp. Who was she? Who was the her name I think on Discord is Livy. She's in our Discord. She's building some sort of VM, TUI based VM manager, which looked pretty cool if you're in the sysadmin space. Harsh, man, the agentic code takes the life out of it. It does for me. I'm not saying it does for everyone, because I think there's tons of people right now, or based on what I see online, I'm trying to find more people who will show me their agentic workflow, because I'm still skeptical, like, well, maybe I'm just not doing it right, or I don't understand. And so, like, whenever people tell me, like, whenever I share that with people that, like, I just don't enjoy it, and they say, well, you're not doing it right, I always try to ask those people, like, well, can you show me? Can you, like, stream yourself working? Would you mind creating a video so I could watch? Maybe I could learn from you. So far, only one person has taken me up on that offer. And so, yeah, so again, it's just, it doesn't, I think if tomorrow I walked into work and my boss sat me down and said, Steven, according to the business needs, now you can only write code through prompting LLM tools, I would be like, okay, boss. And then immediately after that conversation, I would be updating my resume and I would begin looking for other work. That's where I am at this point. My workplace is forcing AI-driven dev on us, and I want to quit already. Product people think it's a magic wand. Oh man, so you're living that. I mean, what I just said, you're like literally living it. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, and that's okay. I in my opinion, I think it's okay. It's okay for career fields to change and for tools to change, and as an employee, we have the opportunity to pivot if we want to as well, you know? Need to update my README. Speaking of documentation. Let's see. I somehow was able to stumble over a solution to part 2 rather blindly. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up what I did for part 2. Pinged you to the message where she told you where she would showcase the project. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Very kind. We appreciate you, I Love Lamp. I think we have enough information now. We can also do run a specific day's solution. You can run the packages tests. So we do PowerShell, and yeah, go test like that. Okay. I think we have what we need to commit this and merge it. Git add. Arvin, tell me what happened. Someone on LinkedIn said ... I don't know what they said, Arvin. I lost the other half of your message. It's fine if you're a Jira ticket engineer, but otherwise it's just boring. Yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't quit over it, but it would push me to look for other work. You know what I mean? It's not like I would throw a big fit if I had to do it. It's just I've done it, like I said, I've done it 3 times where I tried to vibe code stuff. And by vibe code, I mean I tried to write code by writing English and having the LLM write the code. That's what I mean by vibe code. And every time I've done that, I've gotten like halfway decent results. There's definitely always been a point where I have to basically take the wheel and start to drive, stick again for a little bit. But overall, regardless of the productivity gains or the boost, when I ask my question, am I having fun? Do I enjoy this? The answer continually becomes no for me. I think where it works is when you've done this before and just want to get it done. Feels like you're loving the idea of learning and building a checkout. Yeah, that's the plan. Is that's the plan with the Stripe thing. Is I don't want to just get to a page where someone can use Stripe to check out. I want to know how that all works. Like I want to understand what the payment flow is. What are the APIs you talk to? Yeah, it's much more of a learning project than it is let's just get from A to B. Which to me, hold on, Arvin, what did you say? I told my coworker to fail this project, but for love of God, don't use AI on this project. The coworker gave me a mess of code. I asked, where are you sending fetch? He replied, I don't know. Cursor wrote it. That guy was mad. That would be frustrating. That would be a very frustrating experience, Arvin. I do not want to live in that world. Yeah, I do not want to live in that world. What I was getting ready to say, what I was getting ready to continue my AI rant on, is, to me, using AI to write code or do engineering, in my opinion, is basically the same as saying the only thing that matters when it comes to music is getting to the song. And I think if you asked any artist or any songwriter
the process is just as important as the outcome of the process, right? And so for me, when you start talking about using LLMs and AI to do software engineering, I think you are wholly discrediting the value of the process of building the thing. Now, business people might say, well, that's not value add activity. What's value add is getting to something users can use and we can sell. That's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Right? That's fine. It's your business. You're in charge. But doesn't change my opinion. Harsh. I'm interviewing already. Yeah, I would be too, man. I'm okay with people. I'm okay with people encouraging the use of AI tools, but don't force me, right? Don't force me. So I'll be interested to see how your interviewing goes and where you end up. See, I love Lamp. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I saw your messages, man. I saw them. I don't have anything to add or to share or to say back to you, but I saw your messages. Alright, GHPR create. Now we'll merge this in. Wonderful. I gotta go blow my nose real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, people are definitely AI is like, for a lot of people, AI is this really cool solution and they're running around with it and they're trying to find something they can apply it to. Yeah, that is for sure happening. I saw a meme the other day that was something like it was something like, let's see if I can show the code that was in the meme. I don't think I can find the meme. I think it was on TikTok when I saw it. But it was something like this where they had like a question that was like, I think it was something like or sort an array or something, sort an array or something like that. And then disable. And then down below it was like you had somebody who solved it originally where it was like, you know, they had a function and it was sort array, you know, something like this. But then inside the function it was like I don't even know how to make an HTTP call in Go. I think it's like net is like get, something like that. I honestly don't know. But it was basically like fetch chat GPT, and then the message was something like, you know, I don't even remember what the message was, but I think it was something like sort this array or something silly like that. And I thought, yeah, that's basically where we're going with all this. We just, you know, under the hood, everything's a call to Claude Code with the code execution tool turned on. Pablo, I honestly would be able to do agentic programming no problem. Hey, and that's why I never want to feel like I'm trying to shit on it, or like I don't want to feel like I'm trying to say it's not going to be the future or it isn't the way, you know? I just know at my heart at the moment where I'm at, you know, personally is I really, really enjoy the process of solving a problem with code. I'm going to continue to do it probably as long as I live. I don't know professionally if there's going to be any need for that, and that's okay. You know, I'll find some other professional thing to, some other career field to pursue. There's lots of problems and lots of work to be done in the world. If you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You know, but I'm just as guilty of that too. You know, as somebody who really enjoys technology, I sometimes walk around with technology like it's a hammer, and I look at every problem and I think, how can technology solve this? And not every problem can be solved with technology. Kelsey, this feels like you had to be there joke. Yeah, you kind of had to be there. You kind of had to be scrolling on TikTok with me at the moment I saw it. It made me laugh out loud, but it's not as funny when I tell the joke. Good morning, honey. Pablo, you can still do that in your free time. 100%. Yes, 100%. And I think for me, there's a little bit of sadness because this has definitely been the first time from a professional standpoint where I've found this overlap between something I enjoy doing, something that somebody needs done, and somebody will pay me to do it well. And so the fact that it might be going away and I have to find something new is, I mean, it's a sucky feeling, but I've done it before, you know, I'll do it again. And I don't mind doing work that I don't enjoy doing, and as long as I'm getting paid for it, but I think it's always nice when you can also enjoy your work, you know? It's like crochet. You can buy a manufactured t-shirt. If you buy a handmade one, it's going to be expensive. This is true. I mentioned this to WebDev Cody one day during a stream. I told WebDev Cody, I said, I think in the future, there will probably be a whole class of software that markets and brands itself as handmade. And his thought was that, no, there won't, because users don't really give a shit. And I still don't know if I agree with that. I think when you look at products like Hermes handbags, right? I guarantee you there is some manufactured knockoff Hermes bag that looks and feels very similar to the Hermes one, right? But people still buy the Hermes bag because of the brand. So I think there is a future where software craftsmanship is value add. But we'll see. In 10 years, 20 years time, we'll see if I'm right or wrong. Harsh Ikigai, yes. See, Harsh knows. Ikigai, yeah. I actually have that saved on my, or I used to. I don't know if I deleted it. I actually have that saved on my desktop because I reference it all the time. I reference this concept all the time. The Japanese have the best words, man. They come up with the best, like Kaizen. They come up with the best single word with lots of meaning in it. It's great. Fucking crashed again. Also, this is a great username. Fucking crashed again. I'd consider vibe coding a term for new devs or non-devs, just dropping into AI service and building something. Yeah, I think that's fair. Totally fair definition. For experienced devs, you can get a week's worth of traditional work done in minutes and have a tested, documented solution with better edge case handling. Yeah, I mean that's where for me, I haven't seen that realized in my own efforts with agentic code. I always feel like whenever I've used agentic tools, I always reach this point where the LLM gets stuck and it can't unstick itself, and I have to intervene, right? And so then at some point, because I now have to intervene in what it's doing, now I have to go read all the code it's written, and I have to go understand everything it's done prior to it getting stuck so that I can help unstick it. And then at that point, I think to myself, well, then why the fuck didn't I just write all this so that I have all the context and I know the hell's going on, instead of having to do it ass backwards. So it's like it saved me some time, but it really didn't save me a ton of time, because I still have to sit there and figure out how did it get to where it got to, where now I need to do something different. Like the other day, hold on, let me see if I can. My last AI snafu was pretty funny, but this might be another "you had to be there" joke. But I saved a screenshot of the message. Let me see if I can get it onto my computer. It's currently in my Slack. Let's stick it in OneDrive. Yeah, upload to OneDrive. I was using it I wasn't really agentic coding, but I was using an LLM to help me think through a task I needed to do. I'm waiting for the image to upload. Come on. Where are you? It's in files, which is what? Documents? No. Where the hell did it stick this thing? I'm gonna move it. I wonder if OneDrive just is not syncing. Why is it so difficult to get an image from your phone to a Windows computer? It seems like wholly way more difficult than it needs to be. Alright, fuck it. I'm just gonna download it from Slack. You won't do Ruby, Ruby will do you. Man, I'm half tempted to learn Ruby on Rails just so I could maybe one day work at 37 Signals. Every time I listen to the 37 Signals podcast, I think I would like working for these guys. I like their takes on things. Although I think I have a long way to go before I would ever be a developer that DHH would think is like halfway decent. Okay. Here you go. This was my last this was the results of my last coding session. Sometimes I get to the point where the AI frustrates me, and so then I cuss at it. And then it always says, whenever I cuss at it, it always says this every time. Doesn't matter which LLM. If it's GitHub, it might be Gemini, it could be Claude. They all do it. Oh, you're absolutely right, man. It is a protected method. Steven, read my past chat, the one about AI. Okay, hold on. I missed a few while I was trying to figure out how to get that damn image on my computer. fucking crashed again. It's the scale of your prompts that's critical. See, this is... anyways, gotta run. Good luck with your checkout. It'll drive you nuts. As Theo said, you'll be stalked when it clicks and works. See you fucking crash again. Have a good day, man. So that message, though, his fucking crash again's prior message that says it's the scale of your prompts that's critical. This is the part that drives me nuts with the vibe coding and the agentic coding scene, is every time I explain my struggles with it, there's a group of people who show up in my comments or show up to say, well, you're doing it wrong. You don't know how you're not doing it the way that we do it, right? And then whenever I ask those people, okay, well, can you give me a tutorial? Can you record yourself doing this work? Can you stream yourself for 2 hours while you fix a bug? Can you, every time I basically challenge them and say, well, Pixar, it didn't happen, they all are like, oh no, everything I work on is proprietary, and so I can't. Which to me seems a little suspect. I don't know. Is it really as good as you say it is? Is it really as effective as you claim it to be? Because I would think if it was, you'd be willing to help teach and show others. They always make me seem like it's a skill issue on my part. And I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying, okay, well, if it's a skill issue on my part, please, Sensei, come and teach me. And yet, only one person has taken me up on that so far. Thunder Deer. Gotta cuss the LLM out, threatening it works great too. So you gotta properly motivate your LLM employee. I have some of those screenshots. Yeah, I have a coworker, I have a developer that I work with at work who has done a lot of the implementation of our AI tools, in the software that I help support. And every time I have an experience like that, we exchange screenshots of us abusing the AIs. Harsh. Sorry, you are absolutely right. I'm sorry. You set your house on fire, blew up the server. Maybe try this. Yeah, exactly. Composing shit you gotten from AI with atomic prompts isn't vibe coding. It's still doing a lot of heavy lifting, knowing that AI cannot generate whole projects. Ashuto, there is a free cursor course for prompt engineering. Yeah, but I'm not interested in taking another course on prompt engineering. I've taken Gemini's and I've taken Claude. I've taken Anthropic's. I don't need I understand how to talk to an LLM. I understand how to do single shot prompting versus multiple iteration shot prompting. I've done a lot of work with prompting and working with LLMs, both at work and outside of work. My point is, I have yet to sit down and be able to implement a feature end to end in an existing code base without me having to at some point get involved. And yet there seem to be tons and tons of people who continue to say, well, I send it a prop and I just kick back and I just let these 6 agents in these 6 different terminal panes go nuts, And to me, that's not reality. That's not my reality. And so I want to understand, well, what am I doing so wrong where you can sit back and let something code for 30 hours and it be perfect? And, I'm struggling to use Copilot to do things that I think it should be able to do, but yet I constantly have to get involved. I don't. This whole idea of you gotta craft your prompts and you gotta say the right words and you gotta feed in you gotta tickle the LLM just right. I don't want to tickle the LLM, right? It should just know if it's so great and so fucking awesome. Why do I need to develop a whole nother skill set to use it? To me, that's like an ass backwards way of looking at this. Oh, No. You don't need to know how to write software anymore. You don't need to learn how to write code anymore. What you need to do is you need to go learn how to talk to the LLMs and craft the perfect prompts to the LLMs, because that's the skill now. We just exchanged one for the other. I don't understand. See, I've seen that it works better if you just let it write everything from scratch. Having it run on an existing code base seems to be less effective. Okay, but how many of you guys, I mean, if you're working, are you guys really firing up greenfield projects all the time? Like, very little of most developers day-to-day or engineers day-to-day is a greenfield. Most of all of it is code janitor work. Fucking crash it. I feel like I triggered this AI PG. I know, we've completely lost the script. There's no more Stripe checkout. There's only Steven bitching about AI. all I'm saying is, if anybody anytime wants to jump in my Discord and wants to show themselves doing agentic development, I will happily be a viewer. Or if you want to stream it, or if you want to post videos about it, I am fascinated to actually see it in action. I don't want to just see screenshots. I want to see the actual workflow. I want to see what it actually looks like. And I will happily participate to anybody who wants to do that. What's up, Oblivious? Oh, Oblivious was the person who took me up. 99 Oblivious is the only person I've ever asked, show me your AI workflow. And she demoed it for me last night, actually, in Discord. So if anybody ever wants to do that, I will happily join your demo. I'm very, very much interested. Fucking crash out again. Not a streamer, but we can figure something out. Yeah, I mean, just create a video. Like what? Like if you're sitting down to work on a bug, just turn your mic off and just screen record, and then post the video. Or share the video. I mean, you don't have to post it. You just share it. Put it in Discord or put it in Google Drive and share a link. I would love to watch that. We have a project in my company that runs on Claude where they have one agent write the back end and then write a user story to prompt the front end agent. It seems to go fast. Hey man, I'm all for hearing about all the different stuff. Let me know. Yep. Yeah, like I said, I'm open to it. Like I'm not writing it off. I'm actively trying to challenge my current perspective. Although I will say this. Even if somebody could train me, which I would be happy to be trained, even if somebody could get me up to the black belt level of agentic coding that I see these other people online claim to be, I still don't think I would want to do it for a living. At this point, I still think I would probably change careers. Probably. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, keep me up to date, Thunder Deer, if you don't mind. If you see me live and you ever come back into the stream, I'd love to hear more about it as they make progress. I'm sure everyone will be laughing at me in 5 or 10 years when LLMs and AI does everything for everyone, you know, and sad little Steven is sitting on the sideline, boo-hooing. Arvin, read my chat. What'd you say, Arvin? Sorry, I've gotten completely distracted by this whole topic. We are though. I'm 100% set that whenever Advent of Code is not being done, we're gonna work on this thing. But I'm probably gonna work on this off stream too, because I just don't think there's enough hours left in the year. When you factor in Advent of Code streams and work and life and all that stuff. So this will probably be something I also do off stream. but I'll do it on stream as well a little bit. But we're definitely gonna do this. All right, what'd you say, Arvin? You said vibe coding is never feasible. The people who say they are doing it online are bots to get devs burn tokens so AI companies can make money. I'm sure there's some of that going on. I really do think there are people though that are leveraging it in really interesting and unique ways. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like if you tell me that you can deadlift 500 pounds, you better throw the weight on the bar and take a video of you deadlifting it, or invite me to your open gym so I can watch you do it, because I'm not going to take your word for it. Like, that is an unbelievable accomplishment. And so I have the same reaction to when I see things online. When I see people make claims online about their productivity or what they're doing, I'm like, okay, well, talk is cheap. Show me. Like, show me. I'm from Missouri. Like, show me. Harsh. On a side note, what's something you would want to switch career-wise? I think if I was to do something different than what I'm doing now, it would probably be in finance. Like, I'm super fascinated. It'd either be finance or accounting. I'm super fascinated by money and investments, and I would be happy to spend my day with some good spreadsheets every day. You know, I'd be perfectly content with that. So that's probably what I would look into if I couldn't do anything technology related. It would probably, if I couldn't stay in the same field, like if I had to move fields, it would probably be finance related. Thunder Deer, yeah, I just need them to make it earn $1 bazillion so I can get a nice payout. It's the only thing that matters, man. All this talk about AI and software engineering, all that bullshit. You give me $1 bazillion, I'm out, man. I'm out. Let's see, Oblivious. Something I forgot to mention yesterday, different LLMs are better for different development steps. Gemini's good at architecture and APIs, Claude good at CRUD. Interesting. I don't think I probably used them enough to notice that, but that's good to know. Captain Nuclear, nice username, man. Like it. Good to see you. Yes, there are more misleading content. For sure there is. Arvin, I use AI for Vibe mentorship. I write code, I run into the bug, I ask my senior dev what to do now. Arvin, this is actually what you just described is much more how I use AI than I think how I see it being used online. I use it much more like that. Like even yesterday, I had a task at work and I just wanted to rubber duck with somebody about it. I had some thoughts, I had some ideas, and I just wanted to get someone without having to like bug a coworker, right, or interrupt somebody else. I just wanted to be able to like, here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Does that seem dumb? And then like, I also use it a lot to like challenge my own ideas. Like I'll be like, well, I'm thinking about this, but I also know that if I do that, XYZ could become a problem. Do you think that's like I'll use it kind of almost as like a rubber duck. It's super valuable. Oblivious, you're asking to be showed, but watch tech bros gatekeep their prompt engineering skills. Yeah, and my thing is, I don't think it's gatekeeping. I think they're farming. I think they're content farming. Like I call bullshit on so much of it. That's my opinion. I'm sure there's some of it's real, but a lot of it I call bullshit. That's asking cursor, and there's a plan. Actually, hey, Pablo, I saw you mention the ask and agent and plan mode. I think Visual Studio Code just ripped off cursor. Or I'm not trying to shit on the VS Code team. I'm not saying they ripped anybody off. Sorry, that's a bad way to say it. But I think Visual Studio Code got inspiration or something, because I noticed that's now a thing. There's different modes now in VS Code, just like that. Yeah. Which I think that's right, right? Because you don't want it to just take off and start doing things, right? You probably want to be able to kind of like you probably like you said, you probably do the ask first. Well, and this is what I did yesterday with that task. Was I spent a lot of time talking. I was in Visual Studio, but I spent a lot of time talking to it in ask mode, and then I had it make a plan. I didn't use agent. I still implemented it myself, but I had it make me a punch list with plan, and that worked pretty well. Yeah, it's good shit. Good shit. Arvin. Ask Gemini to be pedantic. Harsh. I mean, Cursor got a lot more than just inspiration from VS Code. Yeah, they all did, man. They all did. Yeah, they're all building on. I mean, just the impact that VS Code has had on the world of editors and IDEs and just that whole technology space is pretty amazing. All right, I realize I just spent the last hour of the stream not working on anything and just chatting, but so be it. That's how it goes sometimes. No bit are capped. What? What user? No bit are cap. No bit recap? I have no idea what your username is, and I apologize that I can't figure out what your username is, but good morning. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Systematically pedantic. Yeah, see, you need to be very specific with your prompts, right? UX is rarely patented, and patents take so much time that all companies copy them before they are patented, and then you can't patent them. Yeah, and at the end of the day, is that really is the UI really the stuff that you want to protect, right? Is that the IP that you really want to protect? I don't know. Maybe not. No beta it is, and good morning. Well, no beta, good morning to you as well. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. What I was getting ready to say, though, chat, is it's 7 o'clock, which means, unfortunately, my digital life must end now, and I must return to the real world, and I must go upstairs and shower and get ready for work and see my family off. So I appreciate you guys listening to me rant about my AI issues for the last 40 minutes. But it's also good to hear your guys' take on this stuff. It's nice to kind of get a wide, I feel like I have a swath of people. I have some people that kind of are where I am. I have people like Pablo who are very strategic and are using it professionally. I'm super grateful for Oblivious and her willingness to actually kind of demo her workflow. That was super kind to her. And again, like if anybody's ever open to doing that, you've got a willing participant in me. But other than that, I need to do our normal wrap up. I got a meeting too. Pablo, Cinderella style. That's right. Cinderella style. Leave the stream when the clock calls. Yeah, pretty much. All right. Okay, so normal wrap up here. If you're new here and you don't know what's going on, Oblivious, how did Days AOC go? I missed early stream. It went well, although I remember you yesterday said that you had actually solved part 2 by solving part 1. That was not the case for me. And so I somehow kind of blindly stumbled my way into the solution. I had one bug where I was basically yielding duplicate invalid IDs. So I did have one bug that kind of tripped us up, but it was by far our most successful advent of code day so far, Oblivious. So thank you for asking very much. It went good. I've been posting my solution in my Discord. So if you guys, and my solutions are also on GitHub if you guys want to take a peek. I randomly came across your channel and watch you code. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for doing that. Where am I? How were these problems so far? Yeah, advent of code problems were great. Yeah, they've been really good. I thought day 1 was incredibly difficult. A lot of people thought it was easy. Day 1 spanked me. Day 2 was much better. I solved both parts of day 2 relatively fast. The first part of day 2, I got stuck on a white space issue in my parsing logic, which kind of fucked me up. But yeah, other than that, 10 out of 10 for Advent of Code puzzles this year. I think they're doing a great job. Always appreciate it. Okay, now I'm really going to wrap up. So if you're new here and you want to interact with me or anybody in the chat outside of the stream, you can find us in our Discord, and I do say it's our Discord because chat was really they are the ones who asked for it originally back 9-10 months ago. So if you want to hang out outside of the stream, that's the best place to find us. If you're new here and you think, hey, I want to come back and catch this guy's stream in the future, my schedule is from 4:15 to 7 a.m. most mornings, and sometimes I go a little later than 7 a.m., and that is Central Standard Time, and I put that schedule in the chat as well for your reference. We're going to keep doing Advent of Code, and in between Advent of Code, we're going to work on this. It's basically a Stripe landing page is essentially what it is, but it kind of imitates the Buy Me a Coffee experience. And that's the plan. That'll probably take us through the end of the year mostly. And so that's what you can expect from the streams if you stop in. Otherwise, maybe I'll see you in maybe a comments of a short or a video if you do that kind of thing. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. And if it's Friday for you, have a wonderful Friday. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye, Shuto. Bye, Oblivious. Bye, Arvin. Bye, Where Am I? Nice username. Bye, Nobita. See you, Pablo, if you're still here. Bye, Harsh. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Bye, chat. Bye. See you guys. Pablo, good luck with the job, man. Hope it keeps going well. Now, bye. Bye.